Yay. Now I want to talk about something that's probably going to crispy, yummy, deliciously. That's on the back of the Lay's potato chips bag that I'm looking at. Piss people off. And it's taxes, taxes, taxes. Um, I'm at I don't know. I just watched Ken Burns talk, and the man has a way of making you feel bad about getting angry at people that you hate, which is good because you shouldn't hate people. And if you're not a total asshole, um, you know, hate is kind of only a very temporary thing, and it just kind of simmers down into something. I don't know. Something that a parent would call disappointment. And that's kind of what I have most of the time about, rich people. And so a lot of rich people would be like, I'm not rich. And I define rich as I define rich through proportionality. So I have my assets total essentially zero. So basically, if you have assets totaling over $1 million, you're pretty much gonna fit the bill of, I don't know. I'm willing to grant you the not rich category, but you're in what I would call upper middle class then. And I don't think that's an unfair class to put you in. If you don't agree with me that you're upper middle class, that you have assets right around $1 million, and on top of that, your earnings capacity is, above 50,000 a year, especially if you're not in one of the really high cost of living cities, then if you're disputing that kind of classification or stratification of your situation, then I don't know. I don't know. One of us is very wrong. But I think that collection of statements is very close. You could, at the very least, if I'm wrong, you could bump the numbers up just a little bit and still be correct. So, take the assets and move it up to 10 million, and then lower upper class, but assets of 10 million would probably still need some kind of income, even if it's a fairly minimal income. You probably wouldn't want to be working minimum wage with assets of 10 million, but with assets of 10 million, you could probably sit on a very small passive income and be set for the rest of their life. A small passive investing income and be good to go, because with assets of 10 million, you could have a small home, car, all of these little things, and still be sitting on, like I said, some passive income that would generate enough for you to just learn to live on the interest and even pay taxes on it and still be fine. I don't think that's an unfair statement. That being said, you wouldn't be in, that category of rich where all of the stuff I'm going to say from this point on really, really applies to you. It only applies to you in just a little bit. So you can just, not comment if you're one of the persons that would see the video. So just be easy. All right. Slow your roll, chill back, smoke a joint, and there you go. So if you're in the I have $50 million in assets and I'm either not working at all or in passive income, or all the way up to I have income of between passive income and income of $1 million plus a year, you're who I'm talking to for the rest of this motherfucker. And that is taxes, taxes, taxes. All you people should be paying lots of taxes, and I mean lots, like a lot. From what I just said and all the way up. Heavy taxes. I'm trying to think of the way I put it before, but I can't remember, of course. I don't do great thinking when I'm recording myself. So, but yeah, I think all the really rich people need to understand that that's, I mean, through the last election, and Elon Musk doing the whole Doge chainsaw to cut efficiency thing, need to understand that government efficiency and cutting waste, and people giving you the platitude of, sure, I admire cutting waste and stuff. It's like, okay, well, sure, but I mean, that's such a platitude. I don't even, I don't even care about any of that. That's cutting waste is such a tired, meaningless excuse. Just all of your bullshit is just, I can't even get on track here, guys. I'm trying to think now. Like, what the fuck was I saying to myself over there? You really gotta it's hot. Like the heat is like permeating my frickin' brain cells. Like the neurons are like, yo, so, maybe we could use some AC. And I'm like, no. AC costs electricity. And unfortunately, dickholes, I'm talking to you, 50 million plus, don't like to make electricity free, which, you could. Um, you could do free everything that's necessary right now, but, that's one of the aspects of taxes, taxes, taxes. I grew up loving Star Trek and the Federation. And, we could make that here on Earth right now. We don't need replicators and we don't need matter antimatter reactions. We don't need any of that technology, that advanced technology that exists in the Federation. Everything, all the technology we have now and all the infrastructure and global trade and everything we have is fine to do right now. You have enough production capacity for food, electricity, housing, clothing, all of the essentials to do it for every person on the planet right now. And anybody that says otherwise is just wrong and doesn't know the numbers. So we just don't do it because rich people love money and they love believing in superiority, and I love everything that comes out of the psychology of the ideology of feudalism mixed with capitalism, mixed with hierarchicalism. And the idea that a person going to school, okay, I'll add this. The idea that a person born smarter, going to school, working for a while, and building a company up, and, making lots of money and all that stuff. That whole thing is justified, because of all this, all these systems and stuff. The idea of that justification is the enshrining of that is sacred and untouchable to the people that benefit from it. Yes, that's almost obvious. But the problem is it's sacred to a lot of people that don't benefit from it. And it has been like woven isn't it? Well, stitched together with other sacred ideologies. You know what they are. I mean, woven them together with basically Christianity, which preaches itself as an inherent sacred ideology. And so when you do that, when you create a man-made, abstract kind of, well, religion is kind of a man-made construct. They're both man-made kinds of things, but you say one is a spiritual or whatever transcendent kind of ideology, and of the whatever. They're both kind of different things, and the spiritual and the material, and then you kind of interweave them. You make them inseparable, and now we're in this weird problem where we gotta break apart the two in order to combat the one that is, well, first of all, most problematic at the current time. And in my opinion, the other one is very problematic too. It's not the most problematic once you really get down to the, dealing with it, because there's a lot of just plain false prophets out there, and I think a lot of the real nuts and bolts preachers know who the fuckers are out there, and we can leave those guys. We can leave those guys to clean their own house. They'll probably do a pretty good job of it, honestly. And then there'll be a kind of a self-renaissance or resurgence of more or less, decent people that won't be going around doing fuckery. It's just we need to get rid of the elephant in the room, which is an elephant trying to stomp on us. I would call us ants, but I don't know. Proportionally, we might be bacteria by now. So, and some of us, here's the problem. Right now, I don't have any debt. Some people like me have debt, which means they aspire to having zero money. If you have debt, you have negative money, which means, I thought about this last night. This is the most fucked up thing of all. If you are me and you have debt, you're worse off than a slave was back then. I know you technically have freedom and civil liberties, but aside from that, you're worse off than a slave, because a slave had zero money. You have negative money. So, just looking at it from that perspective, you're worse off than a slave. You have no property and you have negative money. Slave had no property and zero money. So, and it's not just black people. I'm talking to you white people. Same color as this. So, yeah. You need to really start looking at where the actual problem lies. And it is systemic. That's why I say taxes, taxes, taxes. Taxes need to be applied where they need to be applied. And this guy isn't the only one saying it, by the way, but he's, if not the most popular one of the most popular. Gary's economics guy. Wealth tax, which is passive income. Passive income, um, you know, they guys, the guys that are, sitting on your ass income. They're like, oh, these guys are all mooches. They're sitting at home playing video games, eating junk food. It's like, well, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm not getting, according to Gary's calculations, some of these people are getting, and these are the poor billionaires. Some of them are getting $4 million a month. I ain't getting $4 million a month. I'd like to get $4,000 a month. So if anyone can make that happen, I will probably have $2,200 to $2,500 extra. It'll be hard. I mean, I might be able to spend the first month $2,000-3,000, and then after that, we're gonna have some problems spending all that money. I mean, the first month I could buy some stuff, but like I said, after the first month, second month, kind of the stuff I need or want, I'm gonna be done with that. I would have to find stuff to buy because I just don't want things. So and that's how it is for a lot of poor people. You add $2,000 to their monthly income, and unless they're in the hole by $2,000 a month, after 3-4 months, pay off bills and stuff, a lot of people will have to start spending it on semi-luxuries or just start saving it. That's only $2,000, not $4 million. Maybe it's a little low, but you get the point. And add 1 0 to that, and now you're really starting to get in territory of fuck it money. 20,000 a month. Now you're really starting to top fuck it. So that's still nowhere fucking near the 4 million. So yeah, that's why I say taxes. So if anybody has a problem with that 4 million being taxed at, I don't know, 92%, just run the numbers on what 92% is. You'd get 8% of that 4 million. 10% of that 4 million would be 400,000. So if it was taxed at 90%, they would still be earning $400,000. So if we just did easy 90%, they would still be getting $400,000 every month for sitting on their ass, playing video games and eating, what do they say? Playing video games and eating junk food. to throw their complaint, their bullshit right back at them. Like, well, they're investing their money. Like, no. Most of those people just inherited their money. And yes, that's true, because even the searchable top richest people, that does not include the people that no one knows about. So you search on Google and you see the top richest people in the world or in America, that's by no means, there's at least 100 people that don't come up on the list. Remind yourself of that. Not to mention the people that are from 999,999,999 to 500 million. The people that just don't come up on the list because, well, if you had that much money, would you like to be easily searchable? Just a quick search? No. You pay money for anonymity when you're that rich. I know I would. I bet you would too. So, and it's going to be more difficult to tax them too, because you have to find where their properties are. But, make the decision to, and, well, that's why we have an IRS. That's why we hire people to the IRS to find them, to tax them. And once it's their job, believe me, these people are good at their jobs. They're like the FBI for money. Maybe even CIA for money. So, trust me, they're good at finding this shit out. It ain't no rinky-dink, middle of nowhere, tiny town cop. No, these people are good at their job. Anyways, I bet I left something out, but by the way, just a little closing thought. This isn't taxes just because it's bad, or just because these people are bad, or whatever. It's because once the money is in the coffers, the stuff, I mean, you just got to look back to the 50s. Once the money is in the government and the government can do good stuff with it, it does good stuff with it. All the arguments against, all the arguments for the contrary are demonstrably wrong. They just are. You make an argument to the opposite, and the only kind of argument you can make is something that's, hey, look at this pretty thing over here. It's just a BS distraction for other people to look at and stuff. Fund more wars, is pretty much a similar argument. Proxy wars too. I mean, the Pentagon, either way, whether we have more money from taxes or not, more wars are going to be funded. I mean, we're doing it right now. We're cutting taxes and still funding more wars. So might as well gather more taxes. I mean, if we're gonna bomb more people, I mean, we might as well have more money to, you know, I don't even know. I don't even know how to start a list. Put up Christmas decorations so that Santa knows where to fly in. Because towns pay for that. Believe me, I know. You want to point out absurd things? There you go. Yeah, it's a dumb thing for a city to put into the city budget. In a time when government is losing money, can't afford health care. We need candy canes on the light poles. And not even candy canes that you can eat. Candy canes that they're going to throw out. But they look pretty. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I can conjure up a unicorn for you with a rainbow. Hmm. These people need some acid and, if they're women, a big dick in their mouth. And with that, it's boobs out, people. Boobs out.